Morning everyone. We're off to Acorn Fishery this morning. This is Saturday the 14th. Yesterday, Friday the 13th October, with tons of rain, didn't we? So we've had a lot of rain yesterday. I've got this morning, I've put my fleece on. It's quite chilly compared to last week. We had that little mini heat wave as well, so the temperatures dropped throughout the week quite dramatically, and with all that rain as well yesterday, it's going to be it should be quite interesting. I think that rainwater sort of sat on the bottom in that deep water won't I can't see that being right, not for the carp anyway, but I can't see that really shallow water being necessarily right as well, like what we've been doing then recently, just across and the edges and being quite positive in our sort of approach. So I think we may have to we'll still be doing that, but I think we may have to sort of look at second shelves as well, try and find sort of that 3.5 foot of water somewhere, maybe, or 4 foot, depending where we are and on what we can find. I'm going to be fishing, I'll start with hard pellets, but I will be prepared to go to expanders if I need to. And I'm going to have about 3 pints of maggots with me as well. I want somewhere where I can throw maggots in as well, in sort of 3.5 foot if I can find it. And it may well be sort of maggots down the edge, or even expanders and micros. Still got some ground bait, so we'll put a bit of ground bait like we do cab potting down one side. You know, you never know. It might still be like that, but just slower. I did look at the weights in the week, and there was still a 241 it, but then the weights did sort of drop a bit. But I still think it's such a prolific fishery. I still think you're still going to want 180 or so to do well, I think. So we'll see. All will be revealed. We're going to pop into the Bridge Inn on the way and have a nice breakfast. Not had a breakfast for about 3 weeks. I'm really looking forward to that. They do a good breakfast in there as well. I think it's one of those sort of Hungry Horses, is it? Something like that. Some sort of one of those chains. So let's hope we're bung-o, and I'll see you down there. Nice thing is about Acorn is you can park right next to your peg. What an idiot. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Appreciate it as always. So here we are, Acorn, Peg 18, and we've just started. It's deeper than I expected across, but standard start for us, as you probably all know by now. Snake Lake. We're going to go across, aren't we? We're going to fish 4 mil pellets, especially now it's cooled down a little bit. I've got a few sixes on the side as well, but I fancy it being a 4 mil sort of Coppins pellet day, really. We've got a little bit of a breeze right to left, as you can see. We have got a slight tow though the opposite way, left to right, but nothing too drastic. But the wind's quite chilly, so as you can probably see when we hook that fish, we've lightened things down a little bit, haven't we? You've seen the white hydro there. We've gone away from our grey hydro across now, and definitely gone white hydro. We had white hydro down the middle, fishing maggots at Ship Lake the other week actually, but across now Acorn has definitely gone that way, I think. Which has allowed me to lighten up a little bit on the hook length. And as you probably noticed, when I hooked that fish, it didn't run away. It just sort of swam out, and that's what you want. You don't want to be picking their heads up too hard, because you do that and then they swim out from across really fast down that sort of far bank, and they just disturb everything. It's never about catching fish fast, it's about getting the bite, and getting the bite includes getting the next bite, so not disturbing the fish. It's really important, to be honest. So reasonable carp there to start with, always nice. Across, same thing, not fed any other lines, just those 4 mil pellets across, just trying to catch what we can. To my left, you can see no poles have gone across. Everybody's short or down their edges already. Mr. Walsh! Mr. Walsh, what's happened? What's happened? Walshy, do you want to borrow my rod? Tom, it's funnier that way. Mark, I've got a rod here. Here. Only set it up because it's new, I haven't used it yet. It's a little 7-foot jobby. Try not to break it. Right, mate? Got a bit of weight on there. You can chuck it on there. You'll get that. It's good, Tom. Never knock it. It's good. It's good film. What I can't get over is he only ever fishes a top kit. So how did that come off? Well, we shouldn't laugh really, should we? But Mark, poor old Mark, he's had a top kit come out of his actual hand. He's fished a top kit, hooked a big fish, which I can't believe anyway, fishing a top kit, he's hooked a big fish this early. But he is down on the corner, and it's pulled the top kit out of his hand, hasn't it? And that fish has only travelled about 3 pegs, now heading towards me. So it looks like it's going to do a full lap of Cyanide Strait, to be honest. I've given Mark the rod, he's chucking that feeder over the sort of top kit in front of it, trying to catch the line. Be quite honest, watching him chuck that rod makes me understand why he was fishing a top kit in the first place. Sorry if you're watching, Mark. All good fun, mate. Tom is going to put it for your pole in a minute. That fish is only a couple of pegs away from me now, and if it makes it up to me with that top kit, I will give Mark a hand. I'm just going to laugh a lot first. All these shenanigans and Tom Fick there to me, right? It's like Billy Smart Circus, honestly. It's unbelievable, really. I haven't seen a start to a match like this in a long time, I can tell you. Got anywhere near it yet? I mean, the first thing that rod catches, mine. Tom is going to put it for your pole in a minute. Give me that rod, Warshy. Let me show you how it's done. This will be the best bit of his sink there. Yeah, Bob. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down, Bob. She's diving. She's diving. Dive, dive, dive. It's crazy. Is it going to sink now? Well, I got two chucks at that, folks, and unfortunately, it gone past me. It sort of dove under just as it got to us, which is pretty typical. The blooming thing come up about 4 pegs, 5 pegs, in fact, I think. But yeah, by the time it got to us, it got under, and I couldn't help him out with it. I really thought I was going to catch that then for him as well. Anyway, back over, a few more fish, and it's going okay, really. Not bagging, but it's steady. So I've noticed down to my left, not this side of the bridge that you can see, but the other side of the bridge, which is the MPEG today, is down his edge after an hour. Um, Bit of a gutter that, to be honest. So I've had a quick look down my edge, nothing. I wasn't expecting it here really where I am, but I had to have a look. But nothing at all, not a sniff. So it's back across for us at the moment. I don't mind really. Today is about testing a few things, trying to get a few things right for the Winter League, which should be a really good league. There's quite a few fish in it. I think it's a sellout with a waiting list. Paul Nichols and Brian Slipper tend to run it every year, and it really is a good league. And since all the work done on the place and the amount of silvers in here now as well, I think they'll come into it. There's 6 foot of water down the middle now, and that's in the proper colder months. I think the first round in 2 weeks' time, because it's still fairly mild, you're going to want to wait. So I won't be messing about probably with silvers. So we just be carp fishing, which is the sort of things we're trying today. Tom Thick on me right, as you've seen earlier, bringing his trolley out of his van. What a monkey! But he is making me laugh. I don't know if any of you know him or been near him, but he is. Uh, you got to meet him to believe it, really. And 2 pegs to me left, I've got a chap on the bridge there, and then 2 pegs up from him. There's the chap on the M peg. As I say, Graham is catching down the edge already. I'm quite enjoying this. I really enjoy this sort of fishing. Fishing quite light, trying to make that bite across. Um, Brugal sort of feeding. I really enjoy this sort of fishing, the sort of changing of the seasons, if you like. Um, yeah, the float we're using, as we were saying earlier, is like a 2.0 Drennan Crystal now. Sort of gone to those. Really enjoy, really like those. Five number tens above the hook length, 4 inch hook length, and we're just letting it swing into them boards. You've got to get tight to those boards. I can't stress that enough. Um, I have continued with feeding 4 mil hard pellets, but we just try here again short on maggots. We've come away from the bank now. This is on our sort of 3 footer line. I was trying to fish that with a top kit and a short four throwing maggots in, but there's nothing coming that close where we are at all. So I've replumbed it a couple of sections further down the bank, and we've had another go down the edge as well, and still nothing. So still across, folks, forced back across. We've tried catching in several places in the peg and wasted time really. Uh, yeah, the only place we can catch is across. We're catching odd sort of Carassios as well, F1s. Some big old F1s though, they're worth having. The Crassios aren't so big, but they're still sort of weight mounted, I suppose. We're getting a few half sensible carp in between, and then every now and then we get a sort of proper carp. When the proper carp come, you've probably noticed with us on the rig there that we don't tend to move it about. It sort of goes quiet, and you're almost to the point of shipping back and refeeding and sort of working again. And that's what it's all about across. If you're not catching anything, you need to refeed, get back across there, tap a few pellets in, etc. But I find that just sort of sitting there still when it's quiet, you do get the chance of that odd big fish. But otherwise, when you're getting like little touches on your float from liners and stuff, it's worth lifting and dropping. And when I'm lifting and dropping, I'm catching F1s, Carassios, and smaller stocky carp. But it's bites, like I say, I'm enjoying it. I've sort of tried the second shelf over there, 3 foot. It's quite surprised me how shallow we're catching. I've sort of fished that second shelf inside and across. and it hasn't really happened, which is quite strange. And normie edges, not even like a liner. So what do you do really? I keep wasting time trying other things, but it's all about practicing for the Winter League in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll keep trying different things and work hard and see what we can work out. It's a good draw for that, to be honest. It's not a draw I would have picked, but it is a draw where I think it's a bit of a tester, really. Yeah, so you know that you're not just going to bag down the edge. There are a few pegs here where people do on the day, to be honest. I know that already, so I can say that to you, but we're not on one of them, so that can give them a false impression for in 2 weeks' time. So it's quite dependent on where you are with how you fish it. And finally, we've caught one not down the edge, but away from the edge, in that 3 to 3.5 foot of water. Just cad potting a small amount of maggots. Still fishing sort of light, still white hydro 012. Got a carp on. We're about sort of 4 hours in now, and we caught well across. I probably had about £60 in the first 2 hours, um, and then the next hour we only sort of put £10 in the net, sort of £70. So it certainly slowed across. But nice to catch a fish on a different line. Then back out down the same hole, and we got another one. So I think we had three down that hole, sort of off to the left. Um, or sorry, it was two carp and a skimmer. That was it. We had a skimmer then. Just going to try a new little rod. Dying to try it. Trouble is with me, I'm so impatient on that. If I can reach with a pole, I want to fish the pole. Really, I just feel like I've got better presentation in that on the pole. I'm sort of very confident on a pole, and yeah, if I can catch on that, then I will. So we did chuck the feeder across, but it didn't last very long. Couple of minutes, and I sort of reeled it in. Sort of didn't feel comfortable with it. Gone down the actual edge now, and we've had one out of the blue, which is a great sign. But it really did come from nowhere, and it's been slow. I'd say after 2.5 hours up till 5 hours in, 2.5 hours we've had, it's been really, really slow. Not caught much at all. And then an hour to go, and we've just caught this one down the edge. Round to our right hand side, and it's 15 minutes gone, and we hook one down the right hand side. I have actually lightened things up down the edge as well. I've come away from me green sort of keep nets direct elastic. I've gone to grey hydro. I've come away from 016. I've gone down to 014. Um, just to see if it makes a difference, really, because that's what today's all about. And yeah, I'm not going to say it has or it hasn't because I'm not entirely sure. I mean, 45 minutes from the end of the match, you should be catching one or two down the edge, shouldn't you? So I don't know. But all I do know is grey hydro no 14. It's not took me long to land, does it? So another one down that right hand edge. Rather than lightening up the line and elastic, it's standard fare. Otherwise, our zero point 0.4 Malman's Elco, 5 number 8s and a number 10 above a 4-inch hook length. I've got a much smaller pot on, sort of half the size of what we normally use. And I did put a little bit of ground bait in. I was trying to sort of put micros in, maggots and things. Didn't really get a reaction. As soon as I put a little bit of ground bait in, I got a reaction. So that's something learned as well. But not much ground bait, and like I say, you've had the weight. Still throwing those maggots on that sort of top kit short for 45 degrees off to my left just now, whether you noticed or not. Doesn't ever come any good. Never get a sniff on it, not even from silver. So it's just too close to me for this area, which is worth knowing. So back down the left, we went right, didn't get anything. Back down the left, had to wait 5 minutes and we got one. Doesn't really seem to be much rhyme or reason to it, I'll be honest. But I am sort of formulating a bit of a plan in my head. Um, I think when we caught across for those 2.5 hours, or 2 hours, I should say, two hours was really good. The third hour wasn't so good, but I do think now what we should have done was replumb and just start another line across. Now I don't think it would be as prolific as the original line, but we would have ticked over, and I think that was the thing to do. And then keep feeding, ignore your edges and everything else, and just keep feeding a line, sort of top kit plus 3, that 3.5 foot of water away from the edge. Keep sort of feeding a line like that, just tapping a few in, then going across and continuing, and probably staying across for like 4 hours, I think, and just picking different spots and just keep ticking over on this area. If the wind allows me to do that, that's the way I'll tackle it next week. Um, so there's something certainly learnt there, and then try that 3.5 foot. Try both sides, left and right, same rig. Find two areas that are the same. Make things simple for yourself, and then we got our edges after that. But they're going to rock up on that 3.5 foot before they will in tight. So that's the way I think I'd go about it if I'm down this area. If I'm on another area, it you'd just be a case of fishing a bit shorter back towards myself and possibly the edges a lot sooner. Um, so really on that first one, we want to be on a peg. This is the good section, to be honest, to get a weight, because weight will come into it later on, sort of 6 matches in, by the time you hit sort of February or whatever it is we finish, weight will come into it. So it'd be nice to be on a few. But if we're in this area, we've got no fear of it now. I think we've got a good little game plan. Can't really believe how cold it is compared to last week. Last week I was sat in a t-shirt. I actually had sun cream on. We were in the 20s, weren't we? We had that little mini heat wave in October, and now it's like I've had to put my jacket on over the top of my fleece and everything. It's really cold. So stay tuned, everybody. We actually get a few fish turn up down that left-hand side. We actually see tail patterns and that with just a matter of minutes to go.